guys, it's Lisa. Welcome to Banning, Panning and Beyond. Today I am sharing with you a Dupe the Vibes video. I had been wanting to dupe the vibes of the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and it's taken me a while, but I have finally gotten there. So I did a lot of my research on the Temptalia website and also our Beauty Cult website, which Angela Mary Tanner posts. She is an Instagrammer and influencer that I follow, and I used both sites to try to find dupes within my own stash. Now the palette itself is 18 shades, so it did actually take a bit of work. I picked out a few options for some shades. Other shades I found it a little bit more difficult to find something. So it is definitely a dupe the vibes. They're not exact dupes, and I will insert an arm swatch video that I did, which you can also find on Instagram if anyone follows me on there and missed that particular post. So I've got a few photos that I'll insert as well. So this is probably going to be one of my shortest videos ever, but I just wanted to share the fact that I had actually duped that, and probably in the description box I will list all the shades that I used within my collection to dupe the vibe of that palette. So, and today what I've done as part of my challenge or collab series with Siobhan for the 2 looks 1 palette, because I don't have the actual palette and Siobhan does. I suggested that she use her palette and I use the dupes, and we ended up doing a bingo. So the colours, I've got the colours here on my arm, which is always a challenge, but you can see them there. They're just the 5 shades, and unfortunately the really light top one at the light one at the top there, it just doesn't quite show up. I ended up having to use primer on my arm, and I did put some setting spray on my finger before I dipped into that particular shade, because it doesn't show up real well, doesn't swatch real well otherwise. So that's probably a bit more intense than you would normally get, and that particular color there is what I've used in my inner corner. So I haven't seen yet what Siobhan has created, so it'll be interesting to see. We both got some shades that we liked and didn't like, so but yeah, so this is what I came up with. I wasn't super fussed on the look at first, but it is growing on me, so I had to work with what I had. So I basically started with this peachy shade in the transition there, and I ended up going in with this sort of more cool toned sort of taupey brown to the outer part of the transition shade. I've deepened up the outer V with this very bottom one here, and obviously done the purple on the lid, and then I've used this top one on the inner corner. On my lower lash line I ended up using all 4 of these bottom ones. So I originally went in with this on the outer part of the lower lash line. I went on with that in the center, then that sort of on the inner part, but then I ended up sort of going over the top with the purple, which maybe this is picking up, hopefully, that you can see. Obviously not as intense as what the lid is, but it just added that little bit more colour. And as per yours, I'm always hopeless trying to match up my lipsticks with my eye looks, but I think this went okay, which was actually a Colourpop one. I believe it was Dr. Facilia or something, from one of their villains collection, the Disney villains. So you can tell probably today, because we're not getting the glare, that I'm not using my ring light, so it is a little bit dull, but that's the colour there that I used. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you guys know that I had done the dupes, and that I will list them in the description box, and yeah, so I guess the question remains whether or not I will still buy the palette, because I couldn't get exact dupes. Some colours are similar, but the formulas are different, and I have heard that the formulas of the topper shades and some of the more metallic shades in the Huda Beauty palette are really, really good. So I would say at this point, yes, I will most likely still buy it in the future, but for now this will hopefully curb that craving, and I'll get to play with this, and yeah, and we'll see when the time comes whether I actually do go ahead and purchase it or not. So that was it. That less than 6 minutes. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.